Another problem is perhaps more serious, but doesn't appear to public. More perhaps the lawyers feel it, or any one of us who are more interested in watching the trial. It's the fallacy of objectivity, I call it. And that means we are obsessed by objects, by matters. We go to court. Take the example of O.J. Simpson's trial. What accomplished a trial of 6 months, almost, tens of lawyers, millions of dollars, millions of people watched for a case of brutally murdering of 2 people. What was accomplished, you tell me? Zero, a big zero. Nothing. DNA tests, bloods, all about objective evidence. We are crazy for objective evidence. Poor judge, he has no other choice. He is required to only talk about or make decision based on objective evidence. That's wrong. You know why? Because we get a tunnel vision. We lose the panorama of seeing everything. And why we do not see everything? Because we ignore the reality behind the object, which is you and me are human. We're not objects. And not only we are human, we are unique. In the entire universe is only you and me and not a similar person like us. That uniqueness is absolutely out of the court's agenda, out of our law system, and that's wrong. Also in this error, objectivity, is the fact that we know things we don't know where from. It's called in philosophy epistemology, the knowledge that comes to man from nowhere. And it comes for sure. We know that we know, but we don't know where from. Democritus is, I hope I pronounce his name properly, a Greek philosopher. Some 2,400 years ago, he speaks about atom. He speaks about power of atom. How could he know that? How could he get that information? What experiment he used under the ocean to have an atomic bomb to explode on those days? Or even a poet, Sadi in Iran, that Iranians know very well, great poet. Sadi, 800 years ago, says, break the smallest thing and you would see a sun in it. Where he gets this knowledge of atom? Experiment. This poor guy was, as we call it in Iran, darwish. He was just penniless. He could do nothing and no experiments. Where this knowledge comes from? The same, the judge would get that knowledge. The judge in O.J. Simpson's trial, I would bet that he knew the story. But his hand was tied. He just had to look at the evidence. This is wrong. It's a big error we do. That's what I call it obsession, and that's why we lose the view, the holistic view of realities. Now, we come to what I called it earlier, the virus in our system, the adversarial litigation and separateness. In one first court trial again, I think that was just, I was defending the husband. And actually, it was my first litigation. Right after a few minutes, I started to argue to I am right, the other party is wrong. Some inner voice was coming to me. I couldn't deny it, saying that, hey, what is this? You're trying to all your best in your life, learning to just succeed at somebody's defeat, or getting happy, excited at somebody's depression, or gaining at somebody's loss. What type of pride is in that? I know this is something in all of us. When we get to the point, we see that our effort is to defeating somebody, to killing his honor or his pride. It comes to us that we're all related. We can feel his pain. How we can ignore his pain? This is error again in our system, and the system is based on that, and that comes out from separateness. And then the further we go with this aptitude of separateness and fight, the more we dig in our position. And I tell you, there is fundamentally something wrong in that, in every aspect, not in only a trial, in argument with our friends, in parliament debates. You know why? Because we get blind of the truth. All we do is supporting what we said before. We're not going to give back, take back our words because we have said it, and we do not open our eyes to all other evidence or facts that disprove what we are saying. We insist on what we say, and that is, again, absolutely wrong. The other flaw in our system, before we go to find this best solution for that, is the following the events. This is more less visible and more subtle. Maybe even our lawyers and judges would not notice it, but it's true. You see, from the very beginning, when law was introduced in man, all the way back to Hammurabi's law, it had a goal, and the goal was the common good of all of us in long run. It can't be a law goalless, just to follow like a shadow what we do, but what we have now, more or less, is just following the events. Whatever most people do, we regulate it without knowing that where we are going. In the last 18 years, from 1988 to 2006, the common law relations doubled. And the news is that after that, it gets faster pace. In Quebec, it's even faster, higher. Now, first of all, we are not saying at all that it's wrong or worse. It's just the reality of our life. That's not the point here. The point is that when this happened, the Law Commission of Canada made a report in 2001 that why not we should change the title of family law and make it this one that you can see. Call it close personal adult relationship. Yeah. Why? Because they said, well, now that the people live together, same sex, opposite sex, common law, we go and regulate it as it is, just cohabitation is cohabitation. And here is the error. All cohabitation is not the same. There's no problem with cohabitation, but you're forgetting about the role, the effect, the assignment of family in a traditional way. An Australian author put it in a very nice way. I always remember that. He said, family is a crucible that it heats forge the personality of man and society. How we can ignore that? How we can learn those principles if we don't have a family with two parents dedicated, committed to raise the children? Well, there's nothing wrong with cohabitation, but we shouldn't take them all the same and ignoring the support, the promotion, the persuasion, the education we need to keep this family institution there. That's what I'm saying. We follow the events. That's wrong.